Texas boxing scene is here with world famous coach, Coach James Payton from the Legacy Boxing Gym in Harlingen, Texas. It's great to have you on. I know you got Sammy Castaneda coming up on June 10th in the main event in Corpus Christi. How's Sammy doing? How's camp going? How's he looking?
Sammy's charging up every full throttle. I mean, he's getting his running in. He's training twice a day. We have a new strength and conditioning coach, which is putting more fuel in his fire. I mean, he's in dog mode, so I mean, he's been working on a lot of new things. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens, you know, in the fight. What different Sammy comes out.
He's come a long way in a short time since he's been with you. He's grown a lot as a fighter, you know, and talk a little bit about Sammy's progression. When he walked into the gym with you a couple of years ago, from when you met Sammy to where he is now. Talk about his progress and what it's been like working with Sammy, you know, over a relatively short time.
I mean, I met Sammy when he was 17 for the first time. It was at the USC gym in Wessico when I was training with Eric Molina. And he was a good kid. I mean, you know, he walked up, he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I told him, "Hey, what's going on, man?" He's like, "I'm a fighter." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "All right." And then, you know, a couple of years later, I seen him in his first fight. It's like I said, normally it's really, really packed in the back, a lot of fighters, a lot of team, commission, whatever the case may be. But this particular time, I walked back there, and it was just me and Sammy. And, you know, I can see that his team wasn't there. He was nervous. And I just, you know, he's like, hey, coach, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. And he's like, it's been a long time. And, you know, so after that, I seen he was nervous. I was like, can you fight? He was like, yeah, I can fight. And I was like, just like go out there and do what you do. And again, you know, he went out there and got a third round knockout. I guess it was changed to no contest, and then Sammy kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth. And then, you know, I trained Christian Roman, that's from Wessico, Mercedes area also, and you know, a great fighter. And Christian was like, hey, you know, Sammy wants to come back in, or he wants to come and try and train here. I was like, okay. So Sammy walks in with his dad one day, and long story short, he walks in and he's like, I want to train. He was 225 pounds. He was like, I want to fight again. And I was like, I just told him, if you miss a day at the gym, don't come back. If you drink, don't come back. You do drugs, don't come back. This is my time, not yours. And his dad respected that. And the first day, you know, I want to see what kind of guts he had. And so he was training, and all of a sudden it was just projectile throw up everywhere. I mean, when I say it was like The Exorcist, it was terrible. And I was just like, all right, you're done, Sammy. It's good. You can quit. I'm not quitting. I'm never going to quit. I don't quit. He was crying. And he finished the workout. And that's when I knew he had dog in him. You know, definitely had dog in him. And after that, you know, from 225 to 50 days, 45 to 50 days later, he fights his first fight at 145. He fights again at 145 and gets a knockout. And it's just been progression since then. I mean, he's consistently in the gym. He's consistently training. He has that dog type mentality. He never quits, never folds. And some days he's the first one in and the last one out. I mean, hard work beats natural talent 10 times out of 10. That's for sure. And that's one thing that Sammy does, works hard.
There's a lot of things, Sammy. He's the volume, right? He's a good pressure fighter. He's got good footwork. He's pretty athletic. He's pretty good hand speed, right? He does all that stuff. But the one thing about him is his work ethic and his tenacity. And, you know, like I said, that's going to beat talent every time. And, you know, yeah. I remember as an amateur, him fighting Virgil Ortiz in the Texas Golden Gloves, right? When Virgil was icing everyone. And, you know,
yeah.
Virgil, had him in some trouble. He got up, responded, and then ended up, you know, he came up a little short, but he ended up giving Virgil hell over the last round of that fight. And you can see he had that dog in him, right?
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about that. First, you know, when he walks in your gym 225, do you think there's any chance at that point he'd be where he is right now?
Honestly, like I told him, if you just trust the process, we'll get there. Like I believed in him. I mean, nobody does what he did the first day and comes back the next day. That doesn't happen. I mean, most people will go through it and then they'll get through the workout and then you'll never see him again. He beat me here the next day. when I pulled up, he was here. So that's what that, you know, that's I mean,
were you shocked when you saw him?
like that that's scary.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something wrong with him.
You can see he had that dog in him. I want to go back to the fight that he had, not this previous fight, but the one he had in December, where he probably lost the first round, got dropped in the second round, you know, probably a trip, but it was ruled a knockdown. So now he's down 3 points after 2 rounds in a 6-round fight. He's got to win every single round from here on out, right? Like, no question about it. And he does, and he does it, and he dominates the fight from, you know, the 3rd round on. What'd you tell him in the corner, and like what was the interaction in the corner after, you know, he was ruled knocked down in the 2nd round?
I'm always super calm. You know, even in the gym, I'm super calm. I'm not a big yeller because I feel like some fighters need to be yelled at. Some fighters don't, and just the group of fighters that I have, I mean, if you yell at them, it makes them feel. It amps them up, but being amped up doesn't really, you know, always help everybody, or they're thinking down on themselves. What I told Sammy is like, you know what, we're down 2, we're potentially down 2. Now we just need to win every round from here on out, and with fashion. And I knew that Julio was just going to try and catch Sammy coming in with one big shot, so I told Sammy close the distance and change lanes. Every time you hit him with a body shot, shift over and hit him with another one. Make the fight rough. Walk him back. Keep him on his back foot. Continue to touch him. And then once Sammy started doing that, things start to change. Once things start to change, once he started doing that, Julio kind of got tired. At one point in time, I thought Sammy was going to get him out of there, but kudos to, you know, Julio for surviving and taking that fight. I mean, he didn't have to take a rematch. I mean, Sammy definitely didn't have to take a rematch, but that's the fight that Sammy wanted. He said, I want my lick back, and so he went out and took it, because like I told him, nobody's going to give us anything. We have to go take it, and let's go get it. And so every round from that, he just continued to try and break Julio down, and eventually broke him down to where he was tired, and just continued to pummel him. And then we got the nod. So, I mean, you can, being down 3 points or 2 rounds after two, like some people would fold, and they would press, or they would be like, oh, well, it's already over. Like Sammy's like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go take it. And kudos to him, because, you know, at that point, Julio could have just coasted for the rest of the fight and won from the outside, and, you know, and Sammy would have lost. But, you know, Sammy's like, I got that dog mentality. Let's go take the fight to him, and let's go get it. And that's what he did.
And he, like I said, he fought brilliantly the last, you know, 4 rounds of the fight. Won a decision, and won clearly, right? He's down 3 points after 2 rounds. It looks like, you know, he said it's over, right? Like, I mean, he's got to be perfect, and then he was. And then that leads us into the Springs fight, the Brian Springs fight back in February, where Sammy, I thought, looked really good. He's fighting a naturally bigger guy in the biggest ring I ever saw in my life. I don't know where I got that ring from. It was like a 26-foot ring. It was massive. You know, and he's fighting a mover. Sammy cuts him off, you know, cuts off the ring, outworks him. He's throwing, I don't know, they didn't have a punch guy, 80 punches around every round. What do you think of Sammy's performance, and you know, kind of give him a grade and rate his progress on that one?
I'd honestly give him B plus. I mean, there's definitely things that he could have made easier and did better. I mean, but the guy was a mover. There wasn't that much video on him anyway. So what I did was, since I knew he was a mover, most movers and most boxers don't like pressure. And when Sammy came in here, he was a pressure fighter, but I made him into a boxer puncher, light on his toes. But I never took away the fighter out of Sammy. He likes to fight. He likes to get close. He likes to touch you. So all we did was implement just cutting off the ring and setting him up and dropping shots to the body. I mean, the kid was really slick, really strong, really tall, just a naturally bigger guy. And I just had, you know, Sammy just bully him, just walk him back and bully him, put pressure. Boxers don't like pressure. And after the 4th round, Brian Springs said he looked at his corner and said, no more, I quit. waved it off. He's like, I don't want anymore. And his trainer made him come out there, but nothing was going to change at that point. There was nothing, no game plan or no change that they could have made that was going to allow them to win that fight. It was already over.
He made him want to quit. I talked to Sammy. He said he was aware of that. But after the 4th round, I think it was, Springs Kent wanted to quit, and they made him go back out there. I thought it was a really, really good performance. Sammy broke down and basically took the heart from a bigger guy in a bigger ring. They had set all of the chips against Sammy, right? Like anything Springs could ask for, he basically got, right?
That was a 24 by 24 ring. I mean, you need 2 massive heavyweights for that ring. I mean, and then it was a fast ring. It wasn't really padded, so I mean, it was a mover's ring, and it was just like, wow. Like when I seen the ring the day before the fight, the day before the fight, I was just like, whoa. I was like, okay, there's no favors here. And then he's a mover. I was like, oh my goodness. But I mean, that's why you train for different things, and we knew that he was going to run, so we had to counteract that by putting pressure on him.
And like I said, he fought brilliantly. He closed that fight out perfectly. Now he's back in camp. You've worked. I want to get into a little bit about your history too. Originally, you're from Las Vegas, correct? That's where you started your boxing.
Yes, sir.
And you worked with world-class fighters, world champion fighters, Sean Bay Mitchell, right? The Pocket Rocket, William McCullough. Give us some of the other names you've worked with, and then like talk about your experience and how you ended up in the Rio Grande Valley, all the way from Vegas.
I mean, I've been in the game for a long time, and then I just fell in love with, I fell in love with the training aspect of building. I look at it as building monsters. So when I was 17 years old, I started working with my first guy that I started working with. It was Don Juan Futrell from St. Louis, Missouri. And, I got a lot of tutelage from, Mike McCollum, the body snatcher. I was in the gym. My first original trainer, Doc Broaddus, who found George Foreman, he taught me so much. And then, we all were in the same gym we were all at the same gym, which was a Golden Gloves gym right behind Cashman Field. Actually, that's where Rolly started out, Rolly Romero. And we'd always be in there. And then that's when the lady that passed away, Miss Faye, she died, and everybody ended up going to Top Rank. And so, I mean, after that, I started helping Don Juan Futrell, and then he beat Hector Camacho Jr. From there, I worked with Duncan Dunkawari. And these are all, at this point, these are Mike McCollum, the body snatchers fighters, but I was the guy that was doing the mitt work and footwork drills and stepping over and stuff like that. And then, he gave me a chance, but I got tutelage from a lot of the guys, Floyd Sr., Roger. I was able to be around Roger a lot, Floyd Sr. a lot. And just, there's so many trainers that were there that I was able to be tuteled by since I was a young kid, and just look. And like for a long time, I would just look and pay attention to what they were doing. And then, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build monsters. So I got a chance thanks to Mike McCallum. And then from there, it was just on with the races. I've done some work with both Durrell brothers. There's a lot of guys that I've held mitts with. I've held mitts and stuff for Layla Ali when she was in Vegas. When she was with Johnny McClain, when she was married to Johnny McClain, she had her gym off of Sunset Boulevard. I don't do social media. I don't talk a lot. I just do my job and keep my head down. I just want to be a ghost. I don't want no tension or anything like that. I just want to do my job and just create the best product out there.
And you do keep a really low-key, humble persona. Like, I knew you worked with Eric Molina. I had no idea your history and that you had worked with all these world-class fighters. So I talked to you, previously. And I was like, oh, that's got an impressive resume. So, like, you came to the Rio Grande Valley. Was it something about the fighters here, or like, you're coming from the fight capital of the world to this little blip on the radar in South Texas? What attracted you to that area specifically?
Can you repeat that? You were breaking up.
Yeah, you came from Las Vegas, right? Like the fight capital of the world, right? Where every fight is, and you
Mhm.
end up here in the Rio Grande Valley. This little blip on the radar. This,
Mhm.
how did what about the RGV attracted you? Like, what brought you to the Rio Grande Valley specifically? Like, what made you want to set up shop here?
Uh, I originally came here on vacation, and then I just, I mean, out here it was just slower pace. I mean, I,
Coach, Coach. We lost Coach. Hopefully, we can get him back. If not, it was an honor to talk to Coach Payton. Keeps a low profile. Not too many people know who he is. Outside of the rec boxing community, he's been a gift to the Corpus Christi. He's been a gift to the Rio Grande Valley neighborhood and the Rio Grande Valley boxing community. He's doing great work with Sammy Castaneda. You heard the list of guys he's worked with. He's had a terrific past, a terrific history. And it's just an honor and a privilege to have him. I think we're getting him back, hopefully. If we can get him back, we're glad to bring him back in. If not, it's an honor and a privilege to get to talk to Coach Payton. He's having some connection issues, his Wi-Fi issues there at the Legacy Boxing Gym in Coach, are you there? There you are. I kept it going. We're good. Coach is back. Is it possible to get back in the room that you were in because your connection was good there? Coach, can you hear me okay? We're getting Coach back. Shoot. All right, I'm going to try one more time to get him back. If we can get him back, we'll continue the interview. If not, it was an honor and a privilege, like I said, to have Coach Payton on. Hopefully, we get him back on. I think we're going to get him back on right now. And we're going to try this one more time with Coach Payton. It's an honor and a privilege to have him on. He's done an amazing job with Sammy Castaneda. Comes from a world championship pedigree. Hey, Coach, can you hear me okay?
yes, sir.
All right, you're coming in. You're breaking
Yes,
up
sir.
a little bit. All right, cool. All right, Coach Payton is back. It's good to have you back. So you've got that world championship pedigree. You came here in the Rio Grande Valley, and you enjoyed your stay. I want to ask you about Sammy. Like, having that world championship pedigree, how close do you think he is to that level? And when do you think he's going to be fighting at that elite world class level?
It's funny that you asked that. We were just having a conversation about that the other day uh, uh, with Mr. Daigle, and I think personally, I think by next year, by time, by I don't. He's not far off. I mean, we're taking all necessary steps to get him to the he needs.
So Coach Payton says he's getting close. He's getting close to that world championship pedigree. We may have to end this now. Unfortunately, we're losing Coach Payton here. Hopefully, we get him back here. Coach, are you there? Coach, are you with me? Coach, can you hear me okay? All right, we're going to end the interview. It's an honor and a privilege. We got some good information out of Coach. We'll try to have him back on. Coach Payton will be with Sammy Castaneda on June 10th in Corpus Christi in the main event. Oh, he's back. Okay. All right. Coach, okay, it's good to get you back on. So we're talking, Sammy, he's getting close. You're talking with his manager, Kerry Daigle, and, by next year, you think by 2024, you'll think he'll be at that level, fighting world-class fighters?
Yeah, I mean, God willing, we stay healthy, and we continue on the path that we're going. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, he's tenacious. He can fight. I mean, he can box. I mean, his IQ. He has very, very good IQ. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he'll be in the mix of having a big fight sometime, April or May of next year.
It's been an honor to get to I get to watch him and watch him get to progress. I think he's got those skills too. And you've changed him. Not that you've changed him, you've added to him, right? Because when you got him, I mean, he was just a pressure fighter, right? And now he can box from the outside, he can box from mid range. He's got really good feet. He can get in. When you first kind of discovered him, when he first kind of came, did you know that he had that kind of ability, or did you think that, okay, this is just going to be a pressure fighter? Did you know that he could be as multidimensional as he is now?
When I got Sammy, he was purely just pressure, just guts and glory, just pressure. Threw a lot of hard, heavy shots. But one thing that I told Sammy when he came into the gym is like, I'm not gonna take that away from you, because most trainers want to take away what a fighter's really, really, really good at. I don't like to do that. I like to allow them to be a little.
Having some connections. Coach, you back?
Yeah. Like I was saying, Sammy was when he walks into the gym, he was a pressure fighter. Just pressure, pure pressure, guts and glory, hard shot after hard shot. And my thing is that I never want to take what a fighter's really good at away from them. So I didn't want to take Sammy's tenacity, how hard he fought, his wanting to touch somebody, his wanting to be aggressive, his wanting to land hard shots. I didn't want to take that away from him, because I mean, eventually at some point in time, you're gonna have to sit down and fight. But what I want to add to him, I want to add some feints, some boxing ability, some footwork, some shifting, stepping over, and definitely amplify his hand speed, because I mean, he already has power naturally.
And you can see that all paying off, and he's become a much finer, more complete fighter. What can we expect on June 10th in the main event? What kind of performance do you think he'll get the stoppage, and how much do you know about his opponent?
Fortunately, we've been able to see him fight a couple times on the cards in Mexico.
So you got to see them fight a couple times in Mexico, and what were your thoughts? Coach, can you hear me okay? Coach, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you now. I just can't see you, but I can definitely.
All right, I'm going to end this.